Welcome to the Core Collective. My name is Jeff Bullard. Today we're joined by Clay Wood,
Hey,
Nik Madison,
Howdy.
and Brandon the Weber.
Good evening, everybody.
But today we're here to talk about the Silver Age, banlist, maplist, and Silver Age moving forward for the next year. Dude, there's a lot of announcements today. What are your real quick? What are your initial thoughts? And then we'll dig into the article and let everyone know what's going on.
I thought it was a pretty interesting set of changes. I'll be honest, I had heard some preliminary thoughts on the direction things could go, and they went in very different directions. So certainly left me, I think I saw the list around 11 a.m. this morning when it was published, and I was frantically working to get HC units updated. The moment since it took me a few hours before I was able to get all the changes all pushed.
Dude, Clay, you're so good. Like, I boggles my mind on how quick you are to update the units. Like, you just have it down to a science. Like, is that what it is? Like, if you're so good at it, it's just quick. Because like, it can't be easy, right?
A lot of it's just having built it in the right way.
Okay.
And there's probably things I could do to make it a little more quick, but it's just there. The challenge is when they throw in little random things that are the more difficult thing was, and it wasn't difficult, but it was just kind of like a pain in the butt, was the modern limit on sideline units.
Oh yes.
Or you can ignore the modern cap if you happen to have only one modern unit.
Yeah.
So when they add all these additional little weird things, it's not even that hard to code the logic. It's really around how to expose it in the user interface so that people can, if they do something wrong and they turn off the rules validation, that they're able to see what they did wrong. That's where it actually becomes a little more work.
I got it. Because I don't know too much about coding, but for layman's term, it's basically if this happens, you do this. And then if this happens, you do this. And that's kind of how the coding works from my understanding. Yes. It's a bunch of if this, then that, right?
That's pretty much right. Yeah.
Okay. So for the layman's term out there.
Was coding for the restricted list similar?
So basically restricted was actually super easy because restricted is almost just it's like another form of prime. It's exactly like prime. So I can just look through the code and basically copy everything I did for prime. I'm almost surprised they didn't just make these all prime. Because it's now we have two versions of primes.
Well, I'm inherently happy they didn't just say that they're primes, because that does change what the figure is and create a more convoluted understanding of what the figure is. So I do appreciate the restrictedness, kind of a secondary prime version of what it is. So I'm glad. I understand it was difficult for you, but at least for the rule's sake, it makes a little bit more sense in me for playing with Heroclix.
I think it makes sense for us, but I actually think that it makes... what I'm worried is it's actually going to create just a ton of confusion, because there's nothing on the card or anywhere that indicates that these figures are restricted.
Yeah.
It's you need to specifically know the silver rules.
Oh yeah, 100%. It's a difficult format.
I need to, what I need to do in HC units probably is still go back and add some sort of denotation that shows that a particular unit is restricted. Because I think for most people, it's obvious if it's unique or if it's prime, you understand that it has the ring.
Yeah.
And it's easy to look up what that does. There's nothing like that for restricted. So, if you want to play in this format and it's just one more, there's so many little quarter cases that it just makes team building a nightmare. And so I guess that's great for me. Use HC units or you're screwed, but it shouldn't have to be that way, unfortunately. That's, I get it from like, it makes the format more fun to play. It also makes team building a much more challenging and convoluted process.
I agree. The team building in Silver, at least I know when you and I played, it was difficult. Like it was not an easy process, but it did create its own fun challenge within it. But let's get into the changes for today.
Yeah, before we start complaining about them all, we should describe what they actually are.
Today's December 7th, 2024, about 9 p.m. So we have Silver Age Post Worlds 2024 update. So the biggest part that we want to take into it is how team building changes. For official events for Silver Age, a team builder must either have no more than 200 points of modern age legal game elements on the main force, or have no more than one game element that is legal in modern age on their main force. So let's unwrap that. Pretty much the modern age legality is the same as before for the 200 points. The thing that changes is that you can have a tent pole that's modern and build Silver Age around it, which I find interesting. I believe, Clay, as you just mentioned, it does bring out the little team builder in you. Okay, is this tent pole viable? Does that make Phoenix Wolverine playable now at 275 points, and you can have however many points of Silver Age you need to make him better, right? Is that a thing? So what are your initial thoughts on that big change?
Who's going to run the 300-point Kong?
That's hot.
300 Kong, yeah.
That's hot.
I think it's a really good change. Because it does, like Clay mentioned, bring that you get a more wide variety to build with. I know a lot of people from me and Jeff's play group were complaining that they couldn't play the big figures, they couldn't play the Phoenix Wolverine, they couldn't play their new Dark Side in Silver Age because of the point restriction. So I think this just really just opens up every figure in Modern to be playable in Silver now, and not just because of some arbitrary rule set. So I think it's a great change from last year.
Yeah, and I kind of want to go into that as well. Like I know we haven't gone to the rest of the ban list, but there are, and I won't name the figures yet, but they ban things as well that hurt OMA teams. So I think that opening up all archetypes of team building is very healthy for the environment, because we have so many different play groups out there that play different teams. So it does seem that you can kind of go into it picking, I'm gonna go mission points, I'm gonna go OMA, or I'm gonna go swarm team, and you might be able to do well with either one right now.
Because it was a little stale before. So like, I'm always open. I'm always open for a healthy format where there's multiple types of teams that are viable, right? Like you have the mid range, you have your alphas, you have your defense shells, your OMAs, your tent pole. Like OMAs and tent poles are completely different. So like if any and all of that is viable, I'm happy. So I do appreciate them opening that up. 300-point Kong. Who wants to bring Goblin King back?
270-point Goblin King.
Like what other
was 300-point Kong just carries Black Leopard over and
you cry.
And then now you have to roll against my printed 20 when you're at 10.
That's fucked up.
That's so sad. Oh, dude, I love Black Leopard, but I hate him so much at the same time.
Very accurate.
All right, another big change.
It definitely. I think as we get into some of what the specific unit bans are, I think we should revisit this discussion around tent poles, because I think they did, or tent poles or OMAs became much more potent. But let's cover the rest and then come back to that.
Sounds great. All right, so sideline changes. So similar to the point cap, they're implementing a restriction on the sideline construction. There can be no more than 4 game elements placed on a player's sideline during force construction, maybe from sets legal and modern. So you can't have any more than 4 modern legal game elements on your sideline. I feel that they should have worded it as half, because not sometimes people don't play 300-point modern or Silver Age, or people don't always play 400-point Silver Age. Excuse me. So I get what they're trying to do. It is half because no, it's not half, right? That's 3/4.
half.
No,
For silver,
it is half, right?
For 300, it would be 3/4.
Yeah, it is half, right? So yeah.
for
Okay, I'm
tiers.
tripping on myself. Yeah, so it is half. So
This was done because there were
See.
like a lot of teams that were made where they would swap out Silver Age stuff and bring in modern and effectively work around the modern limit. Does that make sense?
100% with the Avengers swap, like Josafa, right?
Yep. Yep.
Way to break the
what
game,
this is-
Josafa.
That's why this is in place.
That's funny. Well, get used to it, guys. All right, mission points. I don't think any of us are personal mission point players, at least on the regular, outside of
Oh.
just practice.
But this is big though.
So
This completely changes the format, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I got some dirty ideas with this, and I was kind of liking it. But well, let me read it first. So they're making some adjustments about how mission points function in Silver Age. So they're going to expand on Silver Age. When they expanded Silver Age to 400 points, they had already expanded the goal to mission points to be 30, right?
Yes.
And because there's already kind of combos that were good, they didn't anticipate it to being as good, right? So in Silver Age,
Effectively, like the problem with mission points is always that it only really ever worked in a 300-point format.
yes.
And so because it was a fixed cap on what they were supposed to be. And so then even it was, you hit 20 mission points and you win the game. So and the other side of it too is it was kind of an all or nothing thing. You either win the game with mission points or you get 0. And so it didn't scale at all. It didn't have any sort of like nuance to it. And so now they've changed it so that mission points will award victory points and instead, and then you just win through the normal means of scoring enough victory points to beat your opponent. So and the mapping between victory points to mission points is 1 mission point is worth 10 victory points. So every time you score a mission point, that's 10 victory points instead. And if you want to win on a quote unquote mission point victory, you need to get 500 points in some combination of mission points or victory points.
But see at that point, when they hit 40 mission points, aren't you at, oh no, it's not at Mercy, right?
The Mercy rules
400.
Is 500.
is 100 over, right? So
But okay.
But still, that means they have to, even if they don't mercy you, they still have to kill your entire team or beat you on points, right? It's like so it's an uphill battle.
Or they could get 40 and then kill 100 points of your figures.
Yeah, that works too.
So that's 400 points, and how many points are your figures? 100, and then you get mercied.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that how that works?
100%. That's how it works.
Yep. So
I don't necessarily like that. I think that's a kind of bad feel.
Yeah,
we're gonna see.
This is such a crazy change in my opinion, because it's like on one hand, it actually feels like this is what mission points should have been all along. To be honest, there shouldn't have ever been, because it adds nuance to it. It fixes these other problems with it. The problem is though that you're inherently now having a game mechanic that rewards you for turtling. That like you can there is I mean I can't say there isn't, but anytime there's a mechanic that allows you to sit in the corner and like accumulate victory points,
it's like bad.
That's really bad, and it ends up leading to non-interactive play, and this is far worse than I think anything I've ever seen before. Even worse than Scarab.
So I guess
anyways, go ahead.
No, just I guess like ask your thoughts on this as well. Yes, that's kind of what we were looking at as well, is that's what it enables turtling, but they did get rid of stop signs and traffic barrel. So Do you think that plays a factor?
You
400
really think
points,
that
you
it's
can
going
have a
to
lot of
prevent people
barrier.
from turtling?
Well, I mean, they can try, but it's like if I can still use my improved movement abilities and go through blocking.
Turtling existed. Turtling is not something that only has come into existence in the last year and a half.
Yeah, so is turtling like a new game strategy? That's something new I've never heard of. Like, can you guys describe it to me?
The game is always, the challenge that I think this goes back to the creation of the game is that it feels like it's often rewarded,
Not doing
playing
anything.
defense, and it's hard to find the balance between defensive teams and overtly offensive teams. But I think this really throws the balance towards the defensive side of things. I'm sure there are going to be highly offensive teams. And in fact, maybe the only way to counter this is to have an incredibly offensive team.
I was gonna say, like, you have to find the perfect shield to build the points around to build up your mission points without them hurting you, right? That's now the goal, because that seems to be the best strategy. If they can't do anything, they can't take my points, but I can just sit there and passively earn points. Like you said, the aggressiveness, like it builds a two format team, or it builds a two team format where you're playing to either get the mission points or you're playing to stop the mission points.
And I think that this actually makes this actually creates a really weird dynamic around going first, because now, and so the other thing we should mention is like full size, like 24 square maps are legal, right, in Silver. So
fair, yes.
So if you go, you can if you go up against a strong mission point team that still has like high, like long range, strong alpha. Let's say Phoenix Sentinel. Let's say you have a hybrid Phoenix Sentinel mission point team. Okay, that's
turning me on now, Clay.
Or that you're fighting against that, right? Now you can choose that if you win map roll, you can go on a short map, but doing so give your opponent the chance to go first and have something like Phoenix Sentinel wreck you. Or you can go to a long map and now fight an uphill battle trying to get across the map to be able to like kill all of their mission point generating pieces
before Phoenix Sentinel gets to you.
Before they get to you. But remember though too, it's also it's no longer a winner takes all situation with mission points. They're just going to slowly accrue them, and it's hard to, if they get like 150 points, that's a big deficit to come back from.
Yeah,
like, in any game, like it's hard. I don't think the teams that are going to win are going to be full on mission points, but I do think they're going to have mission points in them.
For sure, because it's free points, right? Like, why wouldn't you have? If you have 400 points, why would you not have a percentage of your team just be able to generate points for free?
So that's my hot take. I'd love to have people prove me wrong. I know that like the alpha potential in Silver is extremely high. There's a lot of things that allow you to get all the way across the map and do a lot of damage, but
they took away the stop signs.
And I encourage, like, think about what I was saying in terms of like the dilemma. Do you want to go first? Do you want to go second? Like,
so we'll get to the ban list and stuff too, because that does make some interesting changes.
All right, yes. Let's talk about ban list.
So before we hit the ban list, they have a new restricted list. So with this restricted list, it contains powerful game elements that are not quite oppressive enough to warrant a ban, but nonetheless are concerning for the format. Forces may not include more than one of the game elements on the restricted list. Mind you, right now there is 5 figures on the restricted list and may only include a single copy of that game element. The initial restricted list will include the 5 game elements that I'm about to talk about. Necron? Carnage Silver Surfer, Maggot, White Shirt Porter, Black Shirt Porter.
I
you only
think a
get
really easy, quick way to
one
think
of those
this
on
is
a
like
team.
a second tier of primes. Like
For sure.
So that, if you're having trouble getting your head around what is restricted, just think these are like all prime units, but named differently. So
It's like the Diet
there
Coke
are
of
primes and there are restricted, and there are different pools of units. And where prime is a much larger pool, but that's basically the way to think about it.
It's a prime to the pool, right? Because like if you play Necron, you can't play any of the other figures on this list.
Correct.
100%.
Yep.
Right.
But you still can play Black Lantern Swamp Thing, for example.
Sure.
Yes. Necron, Black Lantern, Swamp Thing are friends. They
Or
like
you can also play like Necron plus a prime. So they're not exclusive.
Yeah.
Two lists are not exclusive. There's only exclusivity within a particular group.
I think Maggot's fine. I think Carnage Silver Surfer's fine. Necron's fine. I would have been okay if they just got rid of the porters, but that's just me. What are your thoughts?
At least the temporary ban list.
Yeah, I think the other part of it is these are charity units, and I think there's a close affiliation between that charity and the Rock, for which silver is most commonly played. And so, I think it makes sense to allow those units to be played within this format in some capacity. I kind of like this, to be honest. I know that probably a lot of people are probably sick of seeing Porter, but I actually wish they would have implemented in the first place where you have to choose one Porter or the other. Do you want to be offensive or do you want to be defensive?
I think that would have been fine. One or the other, right? Yeah, like it's what it is. It'll be fine. I definitely think not every team is going to be building with a Porter now.
Black Lanterns, for example, definitely not going to be building with a Porter.
No. I think that they need to add, if that's what they're going to do, they need to add more figures to this list to make it a little more, like, you got to make a choice. If that's what if you're going to play a restrictive format, like, give me a little more options to be restrictive with.
What do you think should be on here that's not?
Do you think APOC or Genesis should have been on this list?
Or both?
Restricted list? Yeah,
So,
or
like,
both.
I think
that was the first thing that I thought of.
Yeah, I think APOC or Gen probably would have been fine on there. Pick one of them. There's some figures on here I'm not too sure about. Maybe you guys can explain to me.
Yeah, so
later.
let's before we get into the specifics, let's keep going down so the temporary ban list has changed.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot here, but actually there's really only 4 classes of five classes. Spider-Man Prime has now made it to the temporary ban list, and just for like the temporary ban list, I think is a ban list for the next year or so until they.
Yeah, it's for a year. I think they say it'll come off in the 2025 list above. If you want to scroll up a little bit, Jeff.
Yep, I think they said
the last paragraph with the the items on the temporary ban list will be removed from that list at a time after the 2025 World Championship. We will announce when they are removed in a future Silver Age update article.
Yeah. Okay, so you got Spider-Man Prime, who God knows we've seen enough of him. We have Masters of Evil.
All the swaps.
All the swaps, including
Mephisto.
Yes, he's not a swap, but he's kind of close to that group.
He's the orchestrator of the swaps, for being honest.
Yeah. We have Chthon. I thought this one was actually probably the most surprising of them. But
I thought this was interesting. I know he's on a lot of sidelines.
And I was okay with that. I was like, you know what? It's fine. Like, we don't need the +1 attack for free. Or we don't need +1 stats for free.
It's the Blackheart punishment that you do with it.
Yeah. But why not just temp ban Blackheart?
I think what's interesting about this is actually that it's a modern unit. It's still a modern legal piece.
That's what I was thinking as well. Like, with the changes to the sideline, I don't think the Chthon needed to be axed.
I think we're having a separate conversation. Yeah. So Clay, Surfer was a modern unit, and it was on the temporary ban list.
That's a good point. That's true.
Yeah, no, and honestly, Chthon is going to see play consistently for the next year until it is rotated out. So he can take a chill from Silver Age.
So the next is all the stop signs. And it's not listed here, but it's going to be soon. This list should include the Wonder Woman 80th anniversary stop sign as well. So there is no.
Okay.
So don't think you're gonna get around the stop sign ban by playing Indigo Ring and pulling in that construct. Should be updated the next couple days from what I understand.
Rookie move, guys. Oh man. All right. So.
And then the last one is the nifty traffic barrel, another modern unit. People drives them nuts, but again, it kind of is nice to be lumped together with the stop sign in that it takes away improved movement abilities.
So all those ignore characters, ignore blocking friends are just going to go free. I love it. Love it. All right. So we'll see you friends in about a year. Get some rest and let's go on to our ban list. These friends are all the same from the last year. Nothing's changed. I don't think Hawkeye works anymore, right? And I don't think Batman works anymore.
And I think Vulture also doesn't work, right? Didn't they fix?
You can't.
Anyways, right? But whatever.
Yeah, I think those guys aren't an issue anymore, if I remember correctly. But moving on.
I think Batman is still an issue, to be honest. I know within Bronze, we had said, Batman's not an issue because the short maps make it easy to get to him. But I think he still causes chaos. He's so cheap and you can mind control somebody's entire team. It just consumes too much time in a format that already has too much going on because it's 400 points.
All right. I hear you. I can respect that. The Witches, no moss, no more.
So you should note, Agatha is new, Scarlet Witch is not.
Appreciate that. Thank you. What do you guys? So we know the 75-point, easy to move figure. What do you think about Agatha, the new addition? She was 25 points more, not really utilized very much at all.
Agatha was used a lot.
Oh yeah, at Huntington.
And Silver.
She was in almost every potent mystical team, and mystical was very obviously dominating the format.
So Scarlet Witch was on the temporary ban list, right?
Yeah. And
then Agatha was still left off because of 100 points, but with the 400 points format, they just went to her. And then she was put on the Tri-Sentinel teams with the Amit's Tomb.
Yeah. But I don't remember her winning a bunch of stuff. Did I miss that?
Wasn't she on the winning silver team build?
I don't remember. Did Lucas play her? Am I tripping? Maybe I am.
I will go look it up.
Dude, if I'm wrong, that's fine. I'm super. Maybe I'm a.
But also, just because a piece hasn't won a bunch of things doesn't mean it's also not impressive.
Sorry, you're right. She was not on.
Okay.
But she was top 4. Scott Crampton played her.
So I understand if a piece is making top 4 consistently.
Anthony Barrett did 5th place played her.
If it's making top cut and it's doing well, but it's not winning, I just don't see it being a problem.
There were 3 in the top 8.
But they didn't win. I don't know. That's my argument, is they didn't win. Yes, they were there, but they weren't able to complete. Does that make sense?
Okay, but Jeff, that also can come just down to matchups, right?
Okay, so if you have bad matchups and you lose to things, how is that oppressive?
Because the good matchups are really good.
Maybe the way to look at it is if you look at what first place did and you figure out, okay, it relied heavily on Amit's Tomb and Blackheart, and both of those are banned. Okay, and Mad Jim, that's banned. So now what's the next one? Okay, next one is a swap that allows you to pull in a bunch of modern units. Okay, so we're going to fix that. And then you go to the next one. Okay, that's the same as team number 1. Then you go to the 4th one. You're like, this is playing Agatha. So basically, I think if you look at like the top 8,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, oh well, if you fix number 1 and number 2, then number 3's number 4 is going to win, right?
So they're preventing the cream from rising to the top.
Up, prevent it like a little proactively. Yeah, I think that's the idea here. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying I think that's the logic behind it.
I wish they would have given a thought process behind this, because like if you explain it, that's fine. Like I understand it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Necrosword.
So to be fair, Aaron Morgan, I think it's fair to say that he's the architect behind a lot of this.
Oh yeah.
He did go on the Degeneration Clix podcast earlier this year. I think he had maybe even 2 episodes, and he went through a lot of the changes that he wanted to see happen and did explain these things in great detail. So if you are interested, you can go back and find that episode and listen to it if you want to get more in depth. Now, so there's not a published article, but there is a discussion around it.
Okay, that's cool. The all black Necrosword, I didn't expect that to come back. Like Brandon and I've been talking about this, like because you get the knockback damage no matter what. I think that's what keeps it on the ban list. It's just too good, right?
Yeah, what I had heard is they were trying to errata it to make it so that it only was the damage from the attack.
Yeah.
But I think they decided to just keep it banned instead of errataing it. And so you notice that it was moved from the temporary ban list to the full ban list, and I think that's why it's denoted as a change, as with Scarlet Witch.
Hot Woman.
You missed Jasper.
Oh, Jasper. Sorry, Jasper. Jaspers. You guys have some insight that I don't?
Yeah, I think the issue here is just like, we know there's a lot of really, really potent equipment in silver, and Mad Jim allows you to really leverage that. And beyond that, just all of the swaps creates a significant amount of cognitive overhead for players, and so it just really slows games down a lot. So I think the idea was, and then the other facet too is it allows you to like really very easily equip non-standard characters, and so that the combination of those things I think is what caused him to end up here.
Okay. Catwoman.
Yeah, so Catwoman is the first in a series of figures that all have a mechanic that allows them to become, that when they die they switch and become friendly to your opposing characters, or sorry, your opponent's force. So in fact, if you go down this list, many of the other ones that we'll talk about that are new kind of fall into this category. I believe the issue here is all around mission points and the removal of the from the ban list of missed minutes.
Got it.
Because you can build a very abusive team where you have like one of the you can imagine a whole bunch of these units. You kill one of them, and now there's a ton of units on the team that all has the same name, and missed minutes just starts racking up the points. So I think that's the idea here.
Got you. Okay. Because Miss Minutes is off the ban list, isn't she?
Yeah, that's okay. Right. So it's not indicated in this article what came off the ban list, but I have that written down, and we can cover that when we get through this.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Thug. I specifically know with the Secret Six, this is an issue. Is there anything else?
I think it was just like really easy. It made it very easy to like abuse things like that and other theme team things. Yeah. So this is one that was moved from the, I think, temporary ban to full ban. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this is, I know when we were looking at the bronze too, that was a possible issue. Orville, Dr. Claire Finn.
So,
why you gotta not want to give everyone sidestep?
Yeah, so she generates the bystander, what is it, Yaphet?
Yep.
And Yaphet allows everybody to have sidestep, and when everybody on your team of 400 points has sidestep, it slows the game down to a crawl. So that's it. That's the logic there.
I keep hearing that this cognitive ability is getting in the way of some of these figures. Eternity, because the keyword cheating with Black Lanterns.
Yep,
Right.
exactly. So Eternity has all keywords.
Yep.
She was the first one to do this before Scott Porter, and has many of the same problems.
All right. Mockingbird.
She's one that becomes friendly to your opponent's force.
Got you. Star Trek.
Becomes friendly to your opponent's force.
Sasha and Big Show.
Same thing. Senator Kelly, same thing. Colossus, Ant-Man, Winter Soldier, AO, Terra, Alex Wilder, all those in the same category.
Okay. And my girl, Giant Girl. What's up with her?
She was previously banned, and what was the issue?
She can make multiple colossal retaliations.
Oh,
like if there's lots of her,
that's
but
what it was. Yeah. So it was just really, that's right. So you could have just a giant army of just her and spend your entire game just colossal retaliating over and over again.
Yes and no, because there's only so much room.
Yes. Theoretically, it's true. Realistically, less of a problem. That's the logic.
All right. I disagree with that one also, but that's fine. All right. So the watch list. They got my orange and green Proteus.
So I believe they weren't banned before. I think they're on there. I think there's some concern they could spiral out of control.
So green I really enjoy because anytime someone takes an action within his range and line of fire within 5 squares, 3 squares or something, they get to place a terrain after the fact. So it's actually really good for setting up stuff, and it's only 10 points. Orange Proteus is 20 points. He gets 2 free squares of barrier, and he has barrier on the dial. I think he says you can't use improved movement. Is that him? One of those says you can't use improved movement. I'm tripping.
Yeah, I think something like that. I'm trying to remember.
I think it's the orange one.
I think both of them are there because I thought, if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, but I think they just cause the game to take a long time.
Yes, Orange Proteus has other characters within 3 squares can't use improved abilities.
Okay, so that's another approved. So I guess that's the one that is concerned around the lack of improved abilities. But I think the one that generates the terrain markers, they're just worried they're going to create a billion terrain markers and just slow the game down to a crawl.
It's a thing. Peacemaker. That's the one that says if you go second, you can't take damage, right?
Correct.
Mern.
I don't know exactly the logic for why that is on here, to be honest.
Nick, has Vegas broken this and we don't know about it? What's up? You're muted.
Are we talking about Peacemaker?
Yeah. Did Vegas break it and we don't know about it?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay. Well, it's being watch listed. Mern, Avi, this guy's too freaking good, man.
Yep.
I would have liked to have seen him on the temporary.
So like post worlds, like building for worlds, I know like Nick, Clay, you and myself, Brandon, we're all saying we need Mern on the team. Mern has to be on every single team we build, right? So
it was like option off of Butterfly.
Yeah, least. Like it has to be on the team somewhere, right? So
Mern or K was my thought.
Yeah. So I think I would have been okay with a temporary ban on Mern because it was as predominant on teams as I want to say Porters were. No.
I mean, if the thing with Katana is he's going to get plenty of play in Modern, I mean, Mern's going to get plenty of play in Modern right now too, so we wouldn't be missing in the server.
I think there's a lot of hope that he's going to be addressed more globally rather than at the...
Like an errata? Like another errata, I guess I should say?
Yeah.
They're going to Legacy Thanos him? Boom, boom.
I honestly don't know. I think that's what that's my perception of what the community is asking for.
That seems like a lot. But moving on, it's what it is. Trick arrows, obviously both sets, very good.
I do feel that they keep things in check. Without the trick arrows, certain things would, I think, just run rampant. Like, you need certain things to keep things in check, right? So, like the no stop click stuff, probably pretty good. Elsa Bloodstone, she's the only way currently to get equipment on Colossals.
Except by just dropping them, yeah.
I think that's why she's on there. Yeah, that's right.
And Beholder, what's up with Brandon? What are they doing to your boy?
I haven't looked too much at Beholder yet because he's not out. You always say if I don't have to worry about it, don't worry about it. There's something like that.
That's Falkland's law. If I don't have to give an answer, don't give an answer, right?
Yeah. So I don't really know. Maybe it's the D20 because there's 10 different options. And
too much decision making.
Yeah, maybe D20 might cause problems. I don't really know what their reasoning for the Beholder is because he's not even playable yet. So I don't know why he'd be on the watch list. So it'd have to be something around his just mechanics. And the only thing that I can think of that would cause problems mechanically is the D20.
Is him at 300 points too much with support? Is he just going to wreck everything?
I don't think so. He can't make 2 attacks.
Black shirt Scott Porter can re-roll his D20.
Yes, he can. Can he make
another
attack somewhere?
I don't know. Is that a thing?
That is.
Maybe
I haven't heard.
This one was
surprised me.
Honestly, like, why is Beholder on the list and not Beetlejuice?
Yeah, I don't know what the problem with Beholder is. It would have to be the D20. I'm looking at all of the results right now, and none of them seem like oppressive in any way. Maybe it's just
I almost thought it was a joke, like the thing that Beholder does is watch, and so add him to the watch list. I don't know.
That's funny.
Or are they trolling us, dude? That's awesome if they are. Like, mad respect. If not, like, I'm so confused.
I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't. I don't get it. None of the things seem OP. Like the death die seems good, but you have to hit a crit specifically and then roll a 19 or a 20.
Yep.
So like that's not gonna come up very much.
So
all right. So what has been removed from the ban list?
Play, tell us. Do you want to share your screen?
No.
Or do you just want to tell us? Play has too many dirty pictures on there to share.
Yeah. Heroclix porn. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love it. That's hot. Oh, God.
So Venom Magneto. So he's back.
Okay.
Whether or not he's still relevant, we'll find out. I think that maybe the most interesting thing is that he is a good leadership option for monsters. Which is probably not what most people think of, but they think of the free TK. Yeah. Miss Minutes, we covered her briefly earlier. She was on here because of the abuse with these trader figures. So she's now back. I'm curious. I still feel like she's pretty ripe for abuse. The thing that certainly came to mind was, if you remember Craig's Bronze Age team with his 7 Groots.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's still the same. With Photon, it works perfectly fine. The same.
Oh, it totally does. And what do you get? Like 70 mission points every turn. 70 victory points every turn.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, and it's hard to kill everything. Like
it is. So, and now imagine you have another 100 points of figures to play with there too. So that'll be interesting.
It's like 5 more Groots.
Yeah, just play more Groots. 4 points.
We should build it, find this team and link it in the comments.
I mean, we can build it.
Because I know that Craig deserves a lot of credit for this team, and I don't think this team ever really saw use outside of Bronze, but this is definitely something that could be abused.
The amount of people that I saw rage quit from Craig playing this team, I loved it. They would get so mad. They're like, he didn't do anything. He was just playing Groots, and he was getting mission points, and he won. And I'm like, you had a turn or two to kill everything. Why didn't you do it? They're like, I didn't know what he was doing. I'm like, did you read his cards?
I think it was a
3-turn
victory.
Consistent, pretty consistent. So like, if you could get to him and kill Miss Minutes or kill enough Groots, Like he couldn't score enough points in
I
turn
mean,
or
if you
kill
kill
enough
the
of the
Misfits, he just
Leslies, right?
instant loses, but
Yep.
if you can pulse wave the Leslies, like he also just loses.
That's what it. Yeah, you have to kill your own Leslies.
Yep.
So elevation, there's things to do it.
Yeah.
You just have to
All
be
right.
aware it's in the format. You guys want to look at more figures? Go ahead.
Next
Yeah, what
on the
else was
list,
left,
Sakarian Iron Man. He's back.
Yay,
That was a
WWE
surprise.
stuff. Yay.
Rocky.
Yeah, and I was
Rocky.
surprised they
Oh,
didn't address
okay.
the. Yeah, there's definitely some abuse with what is the WWE power that you can.
Slingshot, baby.
Slingshot or
Slingshot.
something stupid. Yeah.
Oh no, dude! Thanks to Caleb Reddick, like I played the hell out of that. I love that team.
Oh man.
So I don't see how that doesn't come back, because it's so
It's
dude, it's so good. Like the trick is, you take Pulse Wave, Slingshot, right? So the Slingshot gives you knockback. So you TK him out. You do your little Pulse Wave, Slingshot. You knock him away, and anyone you knock away, you get to make a free attack against. So if you're up close against him.
I think it's just one attack.
Yeah, I don't think you can attack everyone.
Yeah, so like one person you knock back, you get to make attack. Excuse me. Thank you for clarifying. So the Pulse Wave, everyone's going to take 2 from the knockback, and then you get to make an attack against one of the people you knock back. So, dude, and he's got crazy stats. He's got what, +3 with all the tokens?
It's +2. He's maxes 2, but he's 12, 12, 19, 4 or something, because I think he's 10, 10, 17, 2. And he has his own perplex, outwit. You're gonna put Cloak of Limitations, who's gonna have sidestep for a little bit more maneuverability and that flight. Yeah, he's just annoying.
That's right.
Yeah,
All the other pluses were coming from
Wasn't it Paul Cote who played Avengers team? I think I beat him, but his team was really good. Between this and Ms. Marvel, the Colossal,
Yes.
two very slept on figures.
Oh yeah.
That's where I think that's where a lot of us first saw it for was Paul.
Sorry,
if I'm wrong.
Sakarian Iron Man is not slept on, but Giant Girl is.
Giant Girl is.
Sorry,
I do think the
it's
scientist
Marvel,
version
Ms.
is
Marvel
better
Colossal.
though.
Slept on.
I feel the scientist is a better version.
Well, but
All right,
I'm
next
just,
up,
More answers to stuff.
Sky Tyrant. He's back.
I'm
That's
just
my
I'm excited
boy.
for Sky Tyrant to come back. I don't think he's gonna be too oppressive, but I do think he's gonna have a place somewhere in the meta.
He's tough. If he gets to you first, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
With a power gem, I love it. Or enchanted crowbar. Good luck.
Yeah, and the fact that APOC and Genesis
Let's go!
are there makes him all the more.
Blockton is also
so.
back,
Oh,
baby.
he's just gonna give him blades. It's even worse. Oof.
On a small map, can he get back to the starting area?
No.
Sure.
To do
I
it?
mean, pretty damn near, but not all the way.
Well, if you perplex movement once, yes, he can.
That's true. Yeah, dude, it's gonna be so
So
much
the
fun.
answer is yes, Jeff.
How many Sky Tyrants can you fit in a 400-point team?
8.
8. But you play APOC Gen, so you're minus 80. So like,
6.
Do you need a run Genesis APOC if you're gonna
I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't. Because that gives them even more survivability on their. Because they come back on their last click, and their last click they have blades. So it's just an extra fuck you.
You just have a bunch of swords too. Let's give everyone a sword.
Yep. All right.
All right, what else you got, Clay?
Dark Phoenix, the Colossal. So
Love me some
banned
DP.
previously was banned because of all the healing shenanigans. She heals
And
every
that-
time she kills something.
Has that changed at all?
Nope.
Okay,
He's
cool.
back.
Love it. Love it.
Okay.
Then we have, of course, APOC and Genesis, like we mentioned. So
Yes, sir.
all the pieces that made X-Men suck in silver are removed, and so X-Men is now viable again.
You did
So
not
they're
mention
back on the table.
Professor X. Professor X was also taken off the 10th ban list, wasn't he? Because I didn't think X-Men swap was a thing.
My understanding is that he actually has not been on the ban list for quite some time, and I think he was originally there like a year ago, and then he was kind of like stealth removed from it because they took off all the problematic pieces, and now, but just nobody was playing X-Men because it just didn't make sense to.
100% it does, because you can drop 3 power gems and equip stuff. Like you can play Illuminati. Like
it was legal. Nobody
dude,
did it.
I was building with it, but then I couldn't build with it on the units because it wasn't allowed.
Well, it is now.
I love
It is now, Joe.
I love it. All right, I'm gonna build some X-Men swap.
But you only get one maggot, so there's your limitation.
It doesn't matter. I have 3 power gems.
Question for you guys.
Holy shit.
I was
What'd you say?
curious, and I don't think I saw this addressed. Like, if you do master mold, can you still generate like multiple white shirt porters?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's from outside of the game.
Right?
Yes, you can.
I would imagine the restricted is the same as
Unique and prime.
primes.
Yep.
Because how do they word it?
If it's outside the game, that bypasses the prime ruling, right?
Yep.
That's how
You could bring in multiple Nimrod prime too.
It says forces. Your force is just like whatever you start with.
Mhm.
It's on the build sheet.
Yeah.
So let's go back and talk about the temples. I think something like a 300-point APOC. It's not modern, but that's a pretty tough thing to take down now, because previously the strategy was like use the stop sign, the traffic barrel to kind of trap them in place. It's a lot harder to tie that piece down. You don't have the common power eraser pieces, Agatha and Scarlet Witch, to like take away their powers. It feels to me like something like a 300-point APOC is much harder to deal with now. Maybe the only caveat being that the trick arrows exist, but like, what else do you have that makes them easy to deal with?
And if you just whiff, right?
Yep.
Like, you can build a lot of really good support around 300-point APOC, though.
I go too far. I went too far.
What are you looking for? Oh,
There it
APOC
is.
and Gen.
Yeah, dude, that 20's hard to hit, man. And the double stop, like, it's a lot to deal with.
Just don't roll dice.
That's fair.
Just play mission points.
Just Cosmo, you can't use Invincible, and then Brother Voodoo says you take 2.
That's true. That's true.
Question on a wording, guys. I'm sure you guys would know what they meant by this. Specifically because we were talking about Beholder. So Spiderling says at the beginning of the game, turn a die to any result. It doesn't say D6. Does that apply to D20s?
That is an interesting question that will need to be addressed by WizKids.
I didn't realize we had Adam Friedman on the line. I'm sorry.
Just saying, guys.
Let's look at Spiderling. Did I spell it wrong? No, I didn't. 40, right? It was on.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they're gonna have to errata this to turn a D6 to any result. Yeah, because at as it's worded, you can turn a D20.
So
the 19 or the 20, and then there are ways to get a crit and just kill something. You
So,
can just
like,
kill a 300-point APOC.
realistically, I like playing this figure. I should have just should have just put a 20 on here every time. Actually, I
Yeah.
probably could have got a D100. I'm not sure what those are called, and just put 100 on there. And it's been 100% success rate. Nick, thank you for figuring this out. Man,
Well,
what's
I
funny
feel
is
like-
this Spiderling is not unique either.
that's what I'm saying. You could go a 20 on one and then a 6 on the other to guarantee a crit.
oh my god.
Well, if you wanted to, you could go 3 Spiderlings and then play low point Beholder and then 2 6s, and then you just kill anything you want at any time
God.
that he attacks. So
I don't know, unless it specifies in the comp when they turn a die. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty vague.
I feel like this wouldn't have worked before the D20 came out because there was no D20s present in the game, but now that all
There
the
wasn't.
D&D clicks will have D20s because the other ones are coming with D20s, so I would assume they also have D20 abilities. That's definitely something WizKids needs to address.
So in the last comprehensive rules update, they did clarify that a die, like the D6 is a D6, and you can't roll any die you want, right? They clarified it so you can't roll the domino die for all your rolls, if I remember correctly?
I thought they just clarified that that the dice that have the face is a 6.
No, that it said when you roll a dice for something, like you can't roll you can't roll dice that's outside of a D6, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. I thought.
Yeah, like you can't roll this. So 3 6s, a 5, a 2, and a 1. Right.
Like it was in one of the.
Yeah, makes sense.
They did that in the rules update in the last comprehensive rules. So would this fall under it? I don't think it's kind of vague. I do agree with you, Nick, but it may fall under that. So I think they need to work on their pattern making and figure this shit out. Let's take a quick little glimpse at the maps before we dig into some team building. They reached back kind of far and went to 2018 rock maps. Oh boy, how excited am I to have Flashpoint Flood back? Like, dude, the most open map there was for the most part. Hedge Mage is dope. Such a fun map. That was Black
We just had a
Adam's.
small one too, right? Like a couple sets ago. That was on Hedge Maze.
You're thinking the
Oh, the Bloodstone Maze.
Bloodstone
That's
Maze, yeah.
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Dude,
that's
Jeff,
rough.
hey, Jeff,
Blood with Poseidon.
Jeff, go back to HC units and like start a team.
That's, yeah.
Excuse me while I die here.
Maps.
And then just click the maps button. There you go.
All right.
What's that?
We're gonna go.
Gonna have to scroll. Yeah, just.
There we
click
go.
That.
2016. They brought back some WizKids maps. That's dope. Okay, where's WizKids office, guys? Like, what the? You're gonna bring back the cargo ship, but you're not gonna bring back WizKids office. The disrespect.
WizKids office is there.
Oh, there it is. Oh, geez, there it is. Okay. Whew. Dude, I love this map.
Jeff,
oh
do we
my
need to
god.
get your eyes checked?
Yeah, dude, it's late, man. I've been fucking
I
up
know,
since
I
5
know.
in the morning. I'm tired. Dude, I love this map. Oh, this is next to. Do you guys remember? It was a Star Trek map. The one at the cavern, underground caverns. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I love that map. That was my home away from home. All right, so WizKids office. Watch out, friends. It's happening. All right, friendly neighborhood. This is a rift off of Iron Man 3 map where they're on the docks. Interesting.
No, that one's been out. I don't know. That was a very popular. I think that maybe that was before your time, Jeff. But that
100%.
that was a very popular map at the time.
It reminds me of the Iron Man 3 map where they're on the docks. It was from the movie set. Sporting Arena's back. Dope. Well, this was already on the map list. Never mind.
It was, yeah.
Train Yard. I like this. This is cool.
I think for the most part, almost all of these were on the map list. It's more that they pulled a lot of stuff off.
Gotcha.
But I don't have a list of everything they pulled off.
Roller Derby's interesting because it's an indoor map. A lot of people miss that one. Harley's apartment doesn't matter because they don't have the terrain to block off the movement. I do believe Flashpoint Flood coming back is new. What else is
new? Yeah.
Gladiator's Promenade's new. I don't remember that one. Not Muir Island. Map bonuses are all legal, right? Correct in Silver Age, so that's all fine. Oh, hey, look at this. King's Tomb is still legal, friends. Should I play Thanos again? Oh my god.
The map is just there's a lot going on everywhere, and it just looks hideous. Like
So you said
to
all
the
the stuff-
eyes from this perspective,
I love this map. I'm so familiar with it.
it looks like a clusterfuck.
Oh, hey, this is Jesse Cote's favorite map, the docks.
Where we can pull Jesse into some silver.
Does he even know how to play Clix anymore? I don't know.
Shout out
It-
Jesse if you're watching.
I don't know. I know Paul's still in it. Seems like it, but
You know,
I
I
don't know if
actually
Jesse-
think the Harley Quinn maps are not supposed to be there. Ah!
SpaghettiOs.
Yep, I need to remove those. So
It's alright. We didn't see
there
this.
is no Harley's apartment and there's no roller derby. The reason why I actually started thinking about it was because all of the other maps that have a short option have
Yeah.
been removed.
Interesting.
The longer
Oh.
option was removed, so I will update
Give
that.
me Underground Caverns back. Give it back. Actually, Iron Man's Workshop doesn't have a short version now. It does. No?
I don't think so.
No,
No.
the other
No.
side does. I'm tripping. All right. Well, do you guys want to try and build a team?
Are we building the mission point team?
Sure.
Or we could just build the Beholder team with Spiderling.
Oh, we could do that.
It sounds like a pretty easy team to build.
Okay, but
I
like,
prefer not to waste my time.
Oh, okay.
what? What? It's not banned. It's legal. So yeah, go miss minutes.
Just-
Obviously.
If you can check with your local Silver Age judge, let me know. So Miss Minutes, is that what we're doing? How many grits do we need? We need a photon, right?
Well, okay, but what we need to do is build all the necessary pieces and then build the
So the reason it works is because photon, right? It says free. Place an opposing bystander adjacent to photon. So what else
Search group.
besides
Oh,
group?
change it to silver, by the way. Jeff, it's 300
you
points
sure?
right now. Change it to 400.
Oh my God. Clay, I need you to auto. No, I need Clay to make it auto change to 400 when I click silver.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just bougie like that.
Bougie.
100%
Whoa. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, 250 point group.
I'm not trying to compensate for anything, friends. Oh, not sideline. Oh my God. How many? He played like 8, didn't he?
Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Yep. Just
One,
keep going. Just
two,
keep going.
3 more.
Just keep going. No, just keep going.
I think he played 7.
Yep.
So this
yep.
is 8.
Yep,
This is
keep
10.
going. Keep going. We got more space.
What? So we need barrier. No, we need anything else? Barrier? Any like before? We have 10 Groots. We have room for potentially 3 more.
Do you want to run Orange Proteus
Your
for the
defense, if you go
lucky
second, is
movement?
your big map.
Hold on. Too
Yeah,
many
it is
people
just
talking
big
at
map.
once. So what maps? Okay, what maps am I going then?
Prison.
Office.
The most annoying
Or
King's
not.
maps
Tomb.
in the game.
Which
Yeah, King's
prison?
Tomb.
It's Jailbreak. I'm sorry. I think it right. Prison Jailbreak. It's
King's
I think
Tomb,
like King's
I love
Tomb
it,
might be
Clay.
better. Yeah.
which I was shocked that this is still legal, but it is. It's one of the rock maps.
Oh hell yeah, it is.
Search for King.
Or apostrophe.
Well, just make my life hard, huh?
There it is.
It really was being picky about the apostrophe.
Have you seen this one, Nick?
Search engines are quite
This is probably before your
quite
time.
picky sometimes.
It was,
Jeff.
but I looked into it when you guys were playing it at Jesse's event.
This map is awful.
I've never played on it.
Shh.
It's a nightmare for sure.
Hey, just be happy that Ancient Hold still isn't around. All right, like that is atrocious. This.
What about the prison map? Wasn't that pretty bad?
That's
What,
why it's
Search
not
Prison?
here.
That's
Oh,
what I'm
it's bad?
saying.
Yes. Oh no. This is the different one.
That's
No, that's
Yeah.
what I know. It's not on the list.
I know which one you're talking about. There's like a lower area, there's an upper area, and there's a bunch of jail cells, right? It was a rock map.
Oh god, that map. Was that a rock?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. All right. So what else do I need on the team, right?
More Groots.
Okay.
Okay,
So
well, who's the cheapest unit that has barrier now that stop sign is gone?
you guys can't tell I've done this before.
Yeah, go to high.
Wrong way. Zero ring solid. Marvella.
Under Twins.
There you go.
No, they're 25.
Uh,
So I skipped over them. But it's Marvella and Grit.
So how? And Marvell is not unique, right?
He does not get the stop sign correct. So why does he have barrier? Where does he get
Can you
barrier
not
from?
pick barrier for the pickup power?
Oh, at a
Yeah.
higher point, as a higher point. Yeah,
But-
barrier is free
Mark-
limited right to my
I thought
cards.
that's fine. Okay, I guess I thought I fixed that, but I guess I didn't.
Well, no, it still shows up for the 20, but I didn't do a between point search, so I think
Yeah.
it's appropriate. I just was tripping because I never look at it as 175 point. That was 100% on me. So
What's the go to the Human Torch?
only generate one.
Oh, okay. And what was Invisible One? Was that also one?
No, I think it's on the top upper clicks if I remember correctly.
Oh, okay. So that, yeah.
It's Egg, Star Sapphire, Batman, who have it printed that are low, right? So you actually get a lot of clicks for Egg. Star Sapphire and Batman are solid. You can still run the Cosmic team with Thanos. You're just
Yeah.
hard casting Barrier with Star Sapphire and Batman. So you just have to kind of find an extra one to replace Molecule Man, which is kind of hard because he was pumping out seven scores of barrier a turn.
I feel like this Batman's stock just went up a lot because of that second that attack power there. Opposing characters occupying or adjacent to Batman's smoke terrain markers can't use improved movement abilities and must break away as if they were adjacent to Batman.
I do love me some Batman.
Jeff.
Oh,
And when the for like we were saying the traffic barrel
Yeah, when the
and
Sky
the
Tyrants come
stop
in.
signs went away, but this is one way to take away improved movement abilities very, very cheaply. And you get a lot of other stuff from Batman too. Green Lantern team ability, the constructs, the utility belt.
Oh.
Nick, do you remember my detective team?
I just said you got me with that.
I was gonna say, I think that team actually got a lot better in Silver Age. Clay, Brandon, do you remember? Brandon, I think you remember it because you were there. But Clay, do you remember the detective team?
I think you told me about it, but I didn't see it in action.
He wasn't
I
a-
tested a V2.
So it's Fred, Daphne, Shaggy, Batman, with the Porters, right?
Were you doing a lot
that
of
was
mystery
before the
cards with
Porters
it?
came out, Jeff.
Oh, it was. Huh?
It was with World's Finest.
World's Finest.
World's
yeah.
Finest. Yes. So there's like 100 points to add extra barrier to the team or mobility. So I think the team's still viable because like you have to come in and
mobility.
like you have to hit the 19 plus defenses from the mystery
20,
cards,
right? Because surely you play Captain
Here's-
Carter's too.
So here's the
Yeah.
question: with all of the mission points, be like we've been discussing, like, is Mern just mandatory on every single team?
Why you
Or
gonna
like a
say that?
butterfly swap.
So Butterfly then. Is it Mern or Butterfly?
I mean, I think it's Mern, but you could use Butterfly as an option to get him in. But
I guess maybe keyword. It's whatever keyword you want to go with. Like if you want to build around butterfly's keyword, or because they do share what's a lot of the keywords. Doesn't she have something different than
She has animal, monster, and cosmic, I think.
butterfly?
Yeah. And
Ruler.
politician
Oh.
ruler. Sorry, I missed a couple. My fault.
They share animal, cosmic, monster.
That's what they share. Yeah.
So
But
if you want to go a ruler route, so like Colossus, Kong.
Yeah, you have to go butterfly.
I mean, but you don't necessarily have to have a theme, right? Like,
That's true.
theme gets you a lot less
That's
these days. It's not to say that you don't. It's an automatic, drop it, but you can only have one porter if you're even going to use one porter at all.
So you can't play Colossus Kong Butterfly on mod.
But you can. You have to have the points to 400.
Yeah.
That's fair. Appreciate it. Oh my god.
Because it's looking for half right now, and half
Clay, is there any way you were gone? Why I suggested this, but is there any way when I click silver, it automatically goes to 400 points? Is that a thing?
It's possible.
I appreciate the realm of possibility. All right, so we got 10 points of modern. Do we put a mitt on Kong? Or do we put something on Colossus from modern? Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, you can't run a motorcycle.
I think
or
just
a
hang on to it for now. What are you going to do with the other 200 points? What are you going to put, like Thanos or something?
So that's not bad. What's the backup for? So is that enough support for Thanos?
What's the purpose of this team? Like, what are we building for here?
You suggested it. I threw the figures on the board.
It's just ruler good stuff right now.
I didn't know if we had a purpose to it.
We're just building around Colossus Kong. We should probably play a porter.
I'm okay dropping Kong and doing more mind control stuff.
With like Starro?
With Starro, with Thanos. Because dude, freaking Colossus saying you doesn't care about your mind control. Like that's so good. We had rings, right? Mandarin rings on him.
You can just search a ring as well. They're pretty.
Yeah, there's a lot of rings. What was it? We want Spectral Precision Strike. We like that. And what was the other one, Clay?
Well, I think it was the EE one. Incandescent or something.
What were the other? What were the other points that you filled it out with?
There was a Space Ghost, a Batman Prime,
and a
Star Sapphire. It was cosmic, so you didn't have Colossus. So what other good rulers are there?
He played Kong, both porters.
I guess. Sorry, let me clarify. What silver age rulers are there?
You can go Dooms.
Doom. Yeah, Doom Swap is solid.
I think Doom Swap got a lot better.
Or I guess you do have the points, but only just barely.
Ooh. What about Aquaman team up with the blue ring? No, that wouldn't do anything for the mind control, would it?
Like you're having mechanics that don't really.
I mean, I think Doom got a lot better with how many good past keyword people were introduced into Masters of Time. But that's another.
Anyone got it? Disagree with her? It's good.
I mean, the piece is just good. It's just stupidly good.
Would you play her main board or just have her off to the side as a butterfly option?
With Marin.
We'll sideline her for now. We need more barrier, I feel. And mobility, right?
Does Green Man have ruler?
Do you need Mern on this team if you're running Thanos?
No. But it does help
defensive
on the other turns that I can't mind control.
Just to still shoot?
Just to still shoot.
I mean, I'm thinking Mern more as a like
because I think I butterflied into Mern every
kind
game.
Of a person.
Like, I didn't go into anyone else.
Maybe Weasel?
Done.
Because I'm just thinking like when he can mind control, I mean, it does what it does. You want to prep for when he can't do it.
Roller barrier. All right, let's get creative, huh? Oop, too far. One more keyword. Clay, dude, you made this so easy.
I made another change last week too that makes this a little easier too. So I don't know how much you use saved searches.
Use the what?
Saved searches. All right, I guess the answer is you don't use saved searches at all.
I had no idea that was a safe search. That scares me.
So no, if you let's say so go back to what you had. So you can so click the search button. Activate this search. Yep. And see the little looking glass plus? So click it. You can save the search.
Oh my God.
So now if you click this, so hit OK.
I know what's happening. I'm caught up. Oh wow.
So there's a tab right. So on the right next to it, it shows you that. So it used to be that just clicking on this would take you right to. It would just run the search, and I've changed it so that now when you click on it, it actually repopulates the advanced search options for you. So it's very easy to modify what you had if you use the save searches.
Shout out to Q Ventura. He was the one that told me about it.
Wow.
He has his safe searches to like 40 to 50 for butterfly swaps.
Yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's wild. That's so cool. Okay.
Here, Jeff, I thought you were a master of HC units.
I know how to search. I know how to navigate. But I keep a lot of... Dude, you see the knowledge that I pull up randomly, and I'm just like, it's all in my head. I just need to have access so I don't have to remember everything specifically. So... Dude, that's funny. Too good.
I mean, there's so much stuff that I mean that probably most people don't know about that I'm just the only person who knows. Me and McConnell. I think McConnell knows more about this site than maybe anybody else because he is probably one of my most avid power users.
Dude, shout out. All right, so. We got 70 points on our roller theme team. We're lacking barrier. We have a 0 ring. What else can give barrier that's on ruler? Now that Mad Gym we can't play Mad Gym anyway because Colossus, but I feel like there used to be more barrier that's ruler.
Most of the good barrier is like cosmic. I think, Jeff, when we played, we were playing Cosmic.
We were.
That's why we were able to leverage that.
So do we just break theme then?
I think you should consider it.
Yeah, you're running a team that can play on any map.
So then we just go for cheap barrier?
So your easiest way to get barrier is the 0 ring.
Okay.
I actually think you should consider putting. Maybe this is a controversial choice, but I think you should consider playing the Watcher, the 109 Watcher.
Ooh, now you're tickling. I love this. 101B.
Yeah, sorry, 101. And the reason why is because I know, Jeff, when we were just playing earlier this year, we were going back and forth on this, but the thing is, once Thanos takes a couple punches, man, he drops
100%.
And Watcher really allows him to stick around a lot longer.
He's a defend
theme or no?
No, we gave up on theme.
Okay.
Now here's the question. Here's like if you want to take this in a slightly different direction based on what we were talking about earlier, if you do go with Watcher, you could drop somebody and now play Indigo 1 and you have a mission point team.
You could just go Thanos as your main attacking mechanic, drop Colossus. How many points is Indigo? 60. Oh, or Butterfly. Drop Butterfly.
That dropping Butterfly's bad.
No, dude, I feel like this is
dropping
better.
Butterfly is actually totally fine because Thanos sees through everything anyways when he does the mind controls. So if you're going to lean into the Colossus thing, drop Butterfly, play Indigo. And now you have... So the reason why Watcher's so good is not only because you can kind of like use the Indigo 1 support mechanic to get the mission points. But he also is defend, and when Thanos starts getting punched, his defense value drops so rapidly. So you can put so you use Watcher to make him very hard to hit, and then your opponent can't go after Thanos. They have to go after Watcher.
And Mern says it can't be modified. So replaced is fine, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Kale says
Same
The
thing.
same thing.
so.
Yeah. I like the butterfly replacement, because like you're gaining points. They're gonna want to rush you, and then what? They want to rush into Thanos and Colossus. That's a bad idea.
I think I'd rather keep Butterfly over Indigo 1 personally.
I mean, you could butterfly into Indigo. Oh no, you can't butterfly into Indigo.
Yeah.
She's
Like
60.
I'd rather focus on me just murdering my opponent and getting the game done with, than like me trying to crank up some mission points with Watcher every couple turns, right?
I think what it does though is it creates a very challenging dynamic for your opponent. They can't just sit back.
It's
Like-
only on the support, right? With bystanders.
She can use support herself.
She
Like
gets points on herself, but bystanders can't support that. She won't get the points.
So it's only her that's supposed. So like, what if you roll like that's the only source of mission points, and you have to get to 50? So is
But
it worth?
You're doing it to gain passive points during the game.
Okay, so like,
That's right.
how many points do you think you're gonna earn in 5 turns supporting with Indigo 1?
That's not the point, Joe. The point is if they are running a turtle team and you can sit back and get 50 points, and you're forcing them to have to come to you.
So
Mission
how are they
points?
how are they turning it against Thanos?
Mission points make the Space Leo teams completely obsolete.
Okay.
You
Okay.
can't, and it makes a lot of turtle teams obsolete. Like because you're gonna they can steal your equipment, sure, but you're gonna outpace them in terms of mission points.
But I feel like Thanos is gonna outpace them on his own. Like, how do you stop Thanos from mind controlling you with Colossus on the board?
You're not stopping Thanos, but like you also just can sit in your starting area and force them to come to you. Like, why overextend yourself when they can just come to you?
Like, my guy has a range of 10.
Well, and remember, Watcher can TK.
It's a yo-yo. It's a yo-yo. Like, I'm not leaving my starting area. You're not leaving your starting area.
But you can do both. Like they don't have to be mutually exclusive, right? You can accumulate. You can passively accumulate mission points. Oh, here's an idea. So, how many points do you have left?
25.
Oh, only 25. I was going to say if you go and you play Saturnine, if you could get Saturnine in here,
just take Weasel off.
Yeah, just swap the Weasel for Saturnine.
Now you can play tarot cards.
What's the benefit over the +1 attack and damage?
You're mind controlling and not really attacking.
Okay, well, so
Saturnine
every other
has-
turn I'm attacking and mind controlling.
And Saturnine
mind
gives you
control,
something
attack.
even better than +1 attack.
Gives you access to the Judgment Tarot card.
Because remember Saturnine does, and remember Saturnine has like triple target mind control with like 8 range. Bring up 209 Saturnine, or sorry, is it 207 Saturnine?
It's the LE one. It's just not the main set
It's
one.
Type
IT,
207 Sat.
Yeah, just Sat.
No, she's been on my radar for Ruler for a long time. Like, she's really good.
But then scroll down. Or maybe she doesn't have mind control, but scroll down.
Mind control.
Yeah, the once per turn you can increase or decrease
No,
an attack by 1.
100%. I'm familiar with what she does. She's good. 8 targets. You
But
can give her
you want the tarots because you want the tarot that gives you more mission points too.
I mean, yeah, the tarots, the Judgment for tarot or for mission points. You have the
mind control.
Yeah,
The tarot cards with Thanos are so good.
I do
Is
like
it,
this
Queen
duo.
of Wands, or was it Queen? What is it? The Queen of Cups or whatever? What is the one that
Yeah,
gives you the plus?
Queen of Cups.
Queen of Wands gives you +1 to all D6 rolls.
Oh, sorry, that's the one. Queen of Wands. Then
All right, so like I'm on board for the Thanos tarot cards. Like, dude, honestly, I don't care about mission points. I don't think it's good. Like
You're not
with
trying
this
to
team.
win off the mission points, though. You're getting I think that's where you're like stuck at right now.
you're not gonna. You're using it for momentum.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many actions? Action economy. What's my action economy for mission points a turn?
1 support.
Yeah. I mean, we have 5 actions in this game.
Okay. Okay.
Or do we have leadership?
So, how, Jeff or Clay,
No.
can you explain how many? So,
Butterfly right now, but if we drop Butterfly.
Indigo supports for 6, so it's heal 3. Is that 30 points?
Yes.
Yep.
So what if Indigo supports for 1?
You
You
get 10
get 10
points.
points.
Okay.
But that's the whole thing. You're doing that by sitting in your starting area.
So walk me through the turn. Walk me through your turn. Your average middle game turn. Turn
Are you
3 or
first?
4.
First player, second player. What are we looking at?
Doesn't matter. You're doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would say what you take Watcher down to the lower clicks to support to stay on momentum. Maybe you don't have to do that mid game on rounds 3 and 4 if they rush you and now you're engaged. If you need the other action to do that.
Okay. So if they're rushing me and I'm engaged, like Indigo 1 is not who I'd have rather have on my side of the field.
But you have Thanos and Colossus.
100%. But Indigo's dying like instantly. Like that's easy points for them.
Go to Indigo's dial.
I think I left out a letter.
That's not an eye.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. I just
7 clicks, dude. It's nothing to scoff at.
I don't know, man. I'm just not sold.
Click on Watcher really quick.
Like Watcher's cool. I like the defend. I think the defend is cool. I like he sees through shit. I like the plex. If we have the tarot cards for perplex, I'm all about it because that double perplex is cool. Just got to figure out how to get Saturnine on here, or is tarot cheaper?
Tarot's 25.
I think Saturnine's probably better though.
Oh, Tarot's
100%.
30. Sorry.
So yeah,
Saturn
for
does
five
a lot more.
for 5 more points, it's infinitely better.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it better than Watcher then?
Well, but
If you're not running
no.
Indigo, you want Watcher if you're running Indigo.
yeah.
So what's missing from this team is a TK. Who has TK?
She does.
Watcher.
Saturnine has
Watcher.
TK. and
Saturn
Watcher.
also has TK.
So like you need a TK and you need a perplex or 2, right? That's kind of what's missing for the Thanos team.
Saturn is perplexed in quotations.
Like barrier would be infinitely better.
Can we modify the build right now so we can with Indigo on it instead of Butterfly, and
Alright.
and adding Saturnine? I mean, obviously we can change it.
You guys hate me so much.
I think we're getting somewhere.
Give her the ring too. What's right there? Yeah.
You don't get a stop sign.
Doesn't matter. You get free constructs.
Where you want Saturnine? Drop the weasel.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you're a good player, you can probably get a top 8 with this team. Like if you're a good player. I don't think it's gonna win you an event though. I'm just being hyperly critical, but that's just me. I think it's good. I think you'll do some stuff. It's got some cool tricks, but I don't think it has answers to everything.
What are your thoughts, Clay?
Yeah. Does Colossus have 20 defend?
20 up top,
Yeah,
but it's not
defense.
defend.
Defense.
Are you saying drop Spectral to add the Carter Shield?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I think him having precision strike is way more important because how much super sense is out there.
Yeah, but like you have triple target or dual target. Like target somebody without super senses, target somebody with.
So like how close is like Colossus is probably going to be on the other side of the field, and Thanos is going to be hanging back. Like I don't see it. It's not going to shell up. Maybe turn 1, maybe turn 2, but like realistically, it's not going to shell up. And if you do shell up, you have the Watcher that you can pump out a 20 defense if you really want to, like 19s. But at the same time, you don't have anything to stop your opponent from increasing their stats. And so they can get up to 14s, 15s pretty easy if they need to, I feel. Like
Yeah.
the goal
Yeah,
is
sure.
the goal I feel would not is to not give them the opportunity, right? Does that make sense? Like if you have barrier, you can position to keep them out of your zone. That would be more beneficial than, hey, I have a 20 defense, don't hit me. Like if you can make it a 0% chance to be hit versus I have a high defense, like that would be a better goal.
But it's never a 0% chance, Jeff.
So,
No, 100. It can be a 0% chance if you can position to where they can't get to you. If you have enough barrier to where they can't touch you, you can make it a 0% chance.
So then how are you stopping Camo, for example?
Exactly.
All right, we've built an imperfect team. I'm sure our listeners could probably they're probably screaming at us right now, being like, "Add this, add this."
Please leave it in the comments.
Tell us how to fix the team. There's definitely some ideas here. Feel free to. I'm sure somebody's going to figure out a much more interesting way to do this than what we've put together ad hoc.
I do like that. Like we went with this route because it does show that there is a build out there that can do both mechanics.
100%.
So yeah, I there may be other teams. There's certainly other good mission point teams. Honestly, like another way to go about this. I don't want to fall down another rabbit hole, but like, Jeff, I know what you're saying is like you're missing a lot of support powers from this team. Yes. You know who has a lot of support powers are like the Riddler mission point teams. They just require interactivity with your opponent.
Yeah.
But Riddler's pretty crazy. Imagine how fast you could rack up points by like dropping 5 perplexes on your opponent.
God, yeah, that's rather annoying. It's a lot.
So like Riddler plus Mern is pretty disgusting.
Yeah. But now that it's 50, just winning on mission points is going to be far more difficult. But if you're able to kill some stuff along the road, it should get you where you need to. All right. Well then, that was a lot. We covered a lot. I think that may be it, friends. Did you have any other updates for us, Clay?
Yeah, let's see. Something that I think it's been out for a few weeks now that we haven't talked about, we can cover briefly, is the event system that we launched through HC Units. So now, I know, of course, it's like it puts us in conflict with the win. I think a lot of people, one of the features of HC Units that has been a big favorite for a lot of people is the tournament reports. But the reality is that it's also missing a lot of data. So it'll show you the teams for the top placings for a particular event, but it's missing a lot of players. It's missing a lot of events. And so the idea is by having a fully fledged event system, all within HC Units, you can now see, as long as your event organizer is willing to run it, you'll be able to collect all the data and see all of that data archived for events. So if you actually search for Worlds, it wasn't used at Worlds, but I went back and kind of do World. Sorry, just get rid of the S. Yeah. Like we retroactively went back. Oh, sorry, because it's a past event. So went back and added the top 64 within Worlds. So first of all, you can see that you can see all the different round to round data. You can see all of the, assuming that when people use the event system here, the event system allows players to add their teams. And so it has great integration with all of the team building aspect of HC units, allowing organizers to very quickly and immediately determine whether or not teams are valid, are missing pieces, make sure they conform to the right format, etc. And I think like we saw problems occur at Worlds where there wasn't good validation for teams, and it caused problems, and that was with like the best Heroclix judges in the world running the event. Now at your local venue, it's a lot to ask for local organizers to have perfect knowledge of this incredibly complicated game. And so, but by having your teams in HC units and allowing your tournament organizer to have access to those teams through HC units, they can very easily check the validity of the team, as well as allowing us to collect all the stats around, what pieces are winning, etc. So here you can see all the standings for the top 64 at Worlds, how many points different people scored. But if you click on the rounds part of it, you can also see round to round who played who, what was the score, and then we also have an option to keep track of who was the first player, something that the Win doesn't have as well. So we're able to collect very interesting stats around, how much of an advantage is it to go first? And I would posit it's a very significant advantage. I think if you look at Dylan, I think he went first pretty much every single round in the top 64, if I remember correctly. Which isn't to say that's why he won. I'm sorry, I think except with the last round when he played Nik. I think that was the only.
But if you just pull the full, and then you make a full out of your opponent, that's what it is, right?
Womp womp.
Hey, like Clay, I know you're saying how complicated Heroclix is, but I do know an individual that does grasp the idea of Heroclix very well, yet he struggles at finding paper in a box. So, there's strengths in everyone.
So the other aspect of this that we're not covering here is that players have access to their own player page during the event that tells them who they're playing, what table they're playing at, what their opponent's teams are, and allows them to enter the results of the different matches and send them to the judges without having to hand them a piece of paper or tell them manually. So it's all done automatically. Then, of course, I think one of the other things that's pretty nice is if you go to the standings, and when you enter the top cut and you go to a single elimination tournament, if you scroll down, you'll actually be able to see what the bracket looks like. So you can you're going to play ahead of time.
That's sick.
Which is something that the Win doesn't show you. And then the other thing that I think is a couple other things that are very nice if you use the system.
So cool.
It'll automatically create a meta page for you. So if players have added their teams, it'll tell you what are the not only what are the most popularly played pieces, but then there's and also because we're collecting the round-to-round data, this is another improvement over the tournament pages. If you click the little button next to all players, you can change the sort order to sort by wins. You can actually see which are the winning most pieces. Like, in other words, which teams appeared on appeared on the winning team the majority of times. And there is a slight difference between what won versus what actually was played.
True. It does make
And
a
then-
little bit of a difference.
Sorry, what was that?
I said it does make a difference.
Yeah.
Because, like, well, that's like my argument earlier, right? You guys are like, oh, so-and-so's played so much, but I'm like, it's not winning. So this feeds into my argument. Thank you.
And the difference here is like, so you'll be able to see that data throughout the entire tournament. Answer your question, Jeff, rather than only look at like, okay, so they didn't win, they lost one match in the top 4. Does that make them a loser? No, of course they won a whole bunch of games before that.
To get there, 100%.
Right. The last thing that I think is interesting and also an improvement over the win is if you click on the media, tournament organizers can add like YouTube videos, recorded matches, so you'll be able to quickly see. And this is just a couple of the great videos that Dial H for Heroclix added, so you can see a lot of the games that were played. And you can add even more videos if you were so inclined. So we'll have a nice archive of the event.
I love it.
Different ways.
You have taken over the hat of the Heroclix historian.
I'm trying.
No.
My hope is that
there is no try, Clay.
Well, my
There
hope,
is only
honestly,
do. You've
like,
done very successful.
Honestly, like creating the tournament pages is a lot of work on my part. And so, a lot of it is like selfishly, I'm hoping people start using the event system and add their own teams so that I don't have to go and manually add teams, based on build sheets and try to decipher different people's handwriting.
How
Look
dare
at
you
you,
try and
Scott.
make your life? How dare you try and make your life easier?
I know.
Like,
so,
dude, no,
add
like
teams, use events, share data seamlessly, and make my life easier.
Dude, trust me, like I had to decipher handwriting for years for build sheets. It is a struggle.
I've seen
Like,
some of it, and it's
dude.
I can barely classify it as writing. It's more
So
like
like
scribbles.
only because the profession that I'm in, I feel that I have an expertise in deciphering unlegible handwriting. So it did make it a little easier for me. But at the same time, it's adults.
There's also, I know that I don't know how frequent a train of thought this is, but there is a train of thought among certain Heroclix players that writing barely legible build sheets is an advantage because your opponent struggles to decipher it. And as long as it is legal and your opponent can't decipher it, it gives you an advantage because like choosing what map you go to, choosing whether or not you go first are incredibly critically important decisions that have to occur in a split second with limited information. And impairing your opponent's ability to access that information is an advantage. I'd like to get rid of that because I think that's a bullshit way of thinking.
So Clay, you're telling me we're taking psyops to the next level. No, now you're just getting me excited. Like if we're gonna play hard like that, that's fine. But I'm fine playing a clean game of HeroClix too. Like it's whatever your preference is.
I like being able to have access to data, both in real time at the event as well as an awesome archive.
I like having such an awesome team that I sit down with that I don't care what my opponent has, that I can just steamroll over them like Nik's teams.
That's
because that seems to be what Nik does. He doesn't care what his opponent has. He doesn't read cards. He's just like, my team wins. Yeah, it worked until the final table, and then you just kind of ran out of steam. But it's been great. Like how many games in a row between your Artesia event and Worlds did you go undefeated? Like what was your record between those two events?
How many games we played at Artesia? 8 games.
5 and 3,
Yeah,
right?
8 games.
So I was able to play 18 games altogether. So I made it to the top table.
Mhm.
But he's talking about in between those events, like when you played at Vegas.
No, what-
how
did you
many
play-
games?
Like no, RTG and Worlds. Like, did
Oh,
you play
never
any other
mind.
big events between that or leading up to that?
No, so it was just 18 games and I lost 2.
That's pretty good record. It's pretty good.
I mean, according to
Respect.
the LH ELO rankings, I have a 96% chance of winning my games. So
Hey, you know what? That's
Damn.
rookie numbers, mate. I need you to pump that up. We need to get that in the 97, 98 percentile.
No, I
I'm
need that
very-
at least at 99.9, Nick. Come on now.
So
What's
like,
I need that at least at 99.9. Nothing
I know.
lower.
so like Clay was on a rip like this when Bronze Age was on fire. Like Clay, you were like winning. You went undefeated how many games in a row? Like you gave me a crazy stat of like how many games. It was like almost 20 plus. I want to
Okay.
say when you were playing, like you won different formats, and you remember you were telling me you went like crazy undefeated. Like you were such on fire.
I think, yeah, I mean, I won 2 tournaments in a row, but yeah, then we ran into the end of year event.
But then you still did like really well. Like you were on fire for a minute. Yeah, see, let's get this man so humble. He's always so humble. You guys need to take a lesson
You are
from
until
Clay.
you aren't, you know?
You know, hey, I appreciate
You're on
it.
fire until you aren't. Sorry, not humble. Humble. I mean, maybe both. You're humble until you're
funny.
I just try to be consistent, like a consistent player.
Yeah.
I think that's what we all try to be.
For sure.
It's like if we can constantly get to that top 4, top 8, like I'm cool with that.
I think everyone's aiming to be a consistently top 8 player.
Mhm.
But like this is a whole nother conversation. But like reality, they're not. They're
Damn,
not.
Jeff. Damn. Sorry, you're calling me out like this. It's crazy, bro.
No, like it's what it is though. Like
No, I understand. No, it's okay. It's okay. I get it. I have to get better. No, I get it.
like Nick, like this is a whole other side of conversation. But Nick, you said it best, is that other people don't want to play if you, Booth, who's not here tonight, or Roland are playing because they're like, why am I gonna waste my time and money if so and so is gonna play? Because I'm
I
not
don't
gonna
know.
win.
I don't know if that's a common issue at other venues because, like, with other top tier like players, like our venue, like I've said it in the past, we have a lot of casual players, so it could be different venue to venue.
It happens sometimes at our venue,
It does.
but
And it's
I mean,
only
it's
for
yeah,
those events when we, yeah, I mean, any paid event where there's pricing involved, that's the only time where that thought process could cross one of our players' mind.
It's true, but like, I feel like that's a defeatist mentality right away. Because if you're already in your head, like, why am I gonna play if so and so is gonna compete? Like, you already defeat yourself right there.
Well,
Like,
I mean, it's
it's a whole philosophical discussion we'll get into another time. But like,
yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but a lot of our players utilize this game as a break from the family, and I don't think they want to spend the time to just play the meta, if you will. So
no. But if
if
you're playing a high level event, like you have to expect that. And I get you have your weekly casual fun events, but at the same time, like if you're showing up to a high end event or a high end event with high pricing, with good pricing, right?
Mhm.
Like, why would you not expect people to compete their best? Why would you not want to show up and say, "Hey, I'm going to do my best because like I have a chance." Like maybe
I think the answer is that there's the, part of the problem with this game is that there is a pay to win element. I'm not saying that it's like, that you can absolutely buy your way to the top. But
it helps. It helps.
It helps.
I agree with you. No, 100%
having
helps.
access, there are certain players that have access to more pieces than others do.
1,000%.
And that creates a lot of bias in the game.
That's
the nature of the game too. So,
yeah. And you're right, Clay. Like between me, Roland, and Patrick, I think it's another advantage where we can also help each other like fill out figures that we need for teams, right? So we're relying on every figure that I own, what Roland owns, Patrick owns, so that it's 3 figure pools that we're going after now.
Yep. I'm happy to share too with local players, but not everybody takes me up on it because it like asking me to borrow units, kind of like it basically is telling me what they're going to play, and I so that gives up an advantage too. So you have to be willing to like have that pool of people that you have some trust in and are willing to share units too. So
Or pay the shipping cost from someone on the East Coast.
Be very good at the trade, the HeroClix trade game.
PJ is always out to help someone share clicks. Like he is the founding father of what the HeroClix mooching house, isn't he? If I remember correctly. Like people not having figures, I don't feel is a good enough excuse because, like you said, if you really want it, the access is out there. Someone will lend it to you. Someone will help you. If anything, they'll lend it to you just to be like, hey, all right, show me you can do it. Because if you're gonna
reminds me, just a funny story before we wrap up. I was adding all these like teams, these tournament reports for states last year, and I'm like, God, how is it that everybody has a full set of MOE chases? Like, what? This is madness. I can't believe there's so many out there. And I start asking people, and I'm like, no, they're sharing from one set to there's one set of MOE chases that's like eight set of MOE chases moving from one event to the next, being shared among players.
Dude, I very rarely do I borrow stuff. Like if it's something because I need like
all this stuff from Jeff.
I need like a triple of something, right? Like I usually have doubles, most doubles of the high end stuff. So like it's just I've always played my own figures at events, so it's been a privilege. But like I said, more power to anyone that wants to borrow stuff. Like, dude, don't shy away from asking because worst case is someone's gonna say no. But dude, so we have some cool events coming up in California before we sign off. Clix West is kicking off. Alyssa at Thunder and Games is having an event on November 9th, 10th?
10th, yes.
9th and 10th. The 9th is the Clix West Modern event, 300 Modern, and 400 Point Silver Age on Sunday. Thank goodness for my wife reminding me that we have that 11th off. It's a holiday there in November. Huh?
W.
Yeah.
W.
Veterans Day, I think it is. I could be wrong. Anyone right? Is it Veterans Day?
Click on it. It should tell you, no?
Yeah, it is.
So shout out to the veterans.
Never
Appreciate
mind. I don't know.
You guys serving the country.
My phone, but yeah, salute.
ROC States is going on. It's all running through HC units.
It is.
So you can find all of the ROC States events by going to the ROC. If you go under events and look for circuits, there's an ROC 2024 states and provincial championships. And all of the events are listed under that circuit page. Make it very easy for you to find an event local to you. So Go out and play.
Until next time, don't forget to practice rolling your dice, guys. Take it easy.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Peace.